I feel great about it. You know, we had Landon Sanders is back from his shoulder injury, so he'll be back full contact, ready to go. You know, probably could have gone in the spring, but just decided for the better of it not to do it. Just get that thing, get his shoulder as healthy as we could. And then Tyler Venables will be back. You know, he had surgery on his pectoral muscle, so doing bench press towards pec. So he'll be back full speed. So I'll have a full slate when we get started in August.
You don't like injuries, but it helped bring guys like Jalen Phillips along, right? Like it helped.
Sure, yeah. You know, the thing here it's a developmental program here, and next man up, and our guys do a great job of getting themselves ready in the film room, in the weight room, and preparing themselves. So, you know, it's great for JP. It was great to get Koval in there and get some work. You know, he's a guy that got in there this spring and did a really good job too.
Thank you. When you're looking at people like Makuba and Trenton Simpson, Barrett Carter, and some others, is the versatility of this entire defense maybe rare compared to
Yeah, I mean, and then you throw R.J. Mickens in the mix too, and Tyler Venables in the mix. I mean, those guys can do a lot of different things. Malcolm Green. I mean, you got guys that can play a lot of different positions, and you know, it gives them a chance to get in there and play, and it gives us a chance as coaches to use them versus different personnel groups that'll help us be successful. And all those guys you're talking about can really, really run, so and change direction. So, and it's a credit to them for getting in the film room and learning it and learning the different spots.
Coach, when you got somebody like Nolan Turner that leads the NFL, how does this position group as a whole kind of replace that kind of experience that he brought to the table?
He gave us such great leadership, and those guys have just been sitting under him humbly and patiently waiting for their opportunity. You know, those guys are ready to go. I mean, you know, you take a guy like Jalen Phillips that has really benefited from Nolan's leadership. And just seeing how Nolan came up too. I mean, he was a two-star guy that everybody thought was just a charity to be here, and you know, he turned out to be an all-conference, all-American type player. And but those guys have really learned from him, and I've seen them take on some leadership roles, you know, that he left behind. You know, just kind of paving the way.
Andrew told us in the spring, he's like, yeah, you may see me at safety, you may see me at nickel, you might see me at dime, you might see me all over the field.
I see him at corner too. I mean, he can.
Corner.
You know, Makuba can do a lot of things. When you got a physical guy like that can run, he's a matchup problem for offenses because he can match up with your best guy and cover him. You know, and a lot of guys, that's what they want to do. They want to get a matchup with a linebacker or safety, and Makuba's a guy that can cover. You know, he covers like a corner, but he hits like a linebacker.
Is he more comfortable closer to the line of scrimmage?
I think he's comfortable anywhere on the field. You know, he's a really good player. Maybe even return some kicks and punts. Who knows? So he can.
That is the ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year. What's kind of, as a coach, what do you tell him? How do you take him further than where he already is?
Well, he wants to get better. You know, and that's a credit to the culture that Coach Sweeney's set up here. You know, we get those kind of kids. You know that. Yeah, he sees him set. He's proud of those accolades, but he wants more. He wants to do more. He wants to do better. So it's not really hard, you know, getting him in the weight room and in the film room. So, you know, he's hungry to be better.
Coach, what has it been like for your relationship with Wes Goodwin, his new role as defensive coordinator? How have you all grown as a pair to carry into the new season?
Well, it's been great. We've been, you know, since he came back from the NFL, we've been great friends and been in there working together. So nothing's really changed other than, you know, our voice is a little bit louder now. So, but as far as us working together, it's been great. Wes is a humble guy, and we collaborate really well together. There's really no egos involved in it.
What's the biggest thing you learned from last season, just you personally as a coach?
Biggest thing I learned? Well, probably on the, you know, I was doing special teams last year. Probably the biggest thing I learned is man, you got to really develop depth. We lost that whole. I mean, it was like we had a different punt team every single week in protection. You know, you lose Brian, you lose, you know, it's like a different guy in that shield every week. And learned how to develop people on the punt team. That's for sure.
Mickey, what returns have you gotten just on Kylan so far?
On Colin Griffin. Yeah, so he just got here 2 weeks ago, so just hungry, and he's in the film room and just learning. He's got a lot to learn, so a long way to go, but a good athlete, tested well, so excited about him. You know how it is for young guys. They got it's a lot to learn. He's going to be fine though, because he wants it.
How excited is Landon? He's fought all these issues to finally get back out there and have that shoulder finally help.
Yeah, Landon's he's super excited. He's worked for it. Unfortunately, in the very first game of the year last year, he comes up and he lays a great lick on the guy, and boom, there goes his shoulder. But I think he's really excited. He had a great spring, minus the contact stuff. We didn't do any contact with him, but he was in all the coverage things that we did. So super excited. Can't wait to watch him fly around. Be good.
Did he have surgery last?
He did. So 2 years ago, he tore his labrum, and he fought through the whole year with a torn labrum. I don't even know how many people knew that, but played with it. And then went ahead and had surgery at the end of the season. Comes back, misses the spring, does all that, get to the Georgia game, and first series he's in, hits a guy, and hit him hard, tore his labrum, and we just decided, instead of trying to endure this for the whole season, let's go ahead and have the surgery now, and let's go all the way through August with it, and then bring you back. So but yeah, he had surgery 2 weeks after the injury last year.
Was it the same side?
Yeah.
I know it's not your position, but how rare of a talent is Nate Wiggins, just from what you...
Nate Wiggins is super talented. Yeah, he's really, really good. People are going to enjoy watching him play. Really good. I don't know how rare it is, but he's a really good player.
Can you just maybe elaborate on what...
Well, he's got length, which you love in a corner, so he can cover all the tall guys. All these receivers now are 6'4", 6'3". So you definitely got him. He's a matchup problem for offenses, and he can run. And it's rare to find a guy with his length that can change direction and cover man-to-man like he can. He covers like an NFL corner, like an A.J. Terrell. You start putting him in that category with it.
Mickey, in the past, you've had a bunch of hybrid guys back there, guys like Isaiah Simmons you can throw back there and move them around. You've had guys you can move in the corner and bring them back out the cover, like Kayvon Wallace and guys like that. Who's the guy this year that's going to maybe move between the two groups of Green?
Well, Malcolm Green's a guy that'll play. He'll play the nickel in the corner, and then you got Andrew Makuba, who can play the safety, the nickel in the corner. Then you got R.J. Mickens, who can play both safeties and the nickel. Then you got Landon Sanders, who can play both safeties and the nickel. So and then Tyler Venables now, he'll play the boundary safety and the nickel. So you got a lot of guys that'll be fighting this summer, for those jobs and those opportunities. And whoever can cover the best, whoever can grasp the defense the best, and some guys can cover better man, some guys can play better zone. And it's our job as coaches to develop them to improve on their weaknesses, obviously, but we got a lot of smart guys, and a lot of really good athletes that can do a lot of multiple things. We got Barrett Carter, who can play the nickel and play inside. You got Trenton Simpson, who can play inside and outside and defensive end and rush off the edge. Got guys like Xavier Thomas, KJ Henry, and Miles Murphy, who can come off the edge, but they can drop into pass coverage. We got a lot of multiple guys. I think more so than when Kayvon was having to do a lot of different things. I feel like we got more guys that can do that. And then, that was my whole thought process coming in, as a position coach. I don't want guys just to be able to play one spot. I want them to be able to move around, so we can get our best players on the field. Jalen Phillips he can play the boundary safety. He can play the strong and the nickel. When he first came in, he was training with Kayvon. He was working with Kayvon at the strong and the nickel. So he learned all that. And then, last year just kind of moved him back there to free safety and just put him into that boundary because he's such a physical safety over there.
Is he the elder statesman in the room now?
Well, he and Landon both came in together at the same time. But yeah, he's really taken on the leadership role for sure.
That 2018 defense speaks for itself, but I get the feeling you guys might think this defense is faster. Is this the fastest group overall you've had since you've been here?
I think so. Just looking around, it's a really fast defense, especially those linebackers. Man, those linebackers can really run, and we got guys in a lot of spots that can run, and that's what you want. And up front, we can really run. I mean, Xavier Thomas, those guys coming off the edge are really fast, and then Brian Brzee coming back inside, and Big Root, Miles Murphy. I mean, there's going to be a lot of speed. We just need to get out of the way and let them run.
It seems like there were times last year you had to go to Danny Poole and go, who have I got today?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're exactly right. There were a lot of injuries last year, and especially up front, had a lot of guys out having to. But that's going to benefit us this year because a lot of those guys got to play last year. I mean, Big Rook, he did an excellent job coming in last year. Now he's going to be a big time player for us.
You have all this, you mentioned versatility, speed, and all these kind of adjectives to describe your defense. How does it make your life easier for crafting a game plan for a certain team? You have all this sort of talent, different ways you can form a defense.
Well, we need to make sure that we don't move too many pieces. Number one, we gotta make sure that we hone in on what they're best at. But it's exciting as a co-defensive coordinator. It's exciting, and I feel like I'm not handcuffed. If everybody can stay healthy, knock on wood, we can play a lot of guys, which is what we want to do. That's Coach Sweeney's whole philosophy is development and playing guys, and so that's our goal on defense is to get a lot of guys in there. And that's why we trained them to play different spots so we can get them in.
Is this the most physical bunch of safeties you had so far since you've been here?
Well, they got a chance to be. Tanner Muse was pretty physical safety. Kayvon's pretty physical, but these guys they like to hit. So JP's a big time hitter. Just keep continuing, and he's really worked on his coverage, man skills, which is I've seen really improve. Makuba will hit. But yeah, we got a lot of physical guys, and that's what we want them to be. I mean, that's one of our plans to win is to be more physical than our opponent, and you got to do it with physical safeties.
Vicky, you mentioned Tyler Venables earlier. Where is he in his rehab?
So he's back. So he'll be good to go when we start in August. So I'm excited about that. He's a physical safety too.
For us to have him come back to
I think it's huge. You got a guy that has a lot of experience. He's played a lot of games, and I think it's huge to get him back. He can do a lot on special teams as well. And most of your special teams are made up of your safeties and linebackers. So the more of those guys we can get involved with that, with special teams is going to be good too. But he has a great knowledge of the defense, and and a lot of playing experience. So that's going to help. It's going to help us.
a little surprised when you decided to stay instead of following Pop's.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised. I thought that he might go with his dad, but I'm proud that he stayed, and I'm thankful that Coach V trusts me, with his son. I feel responsible, to help develop him not only on the field as a player, but off the field as a young man too. Because his dad's entrusted me with that. So very grateful to Coach V for this opportunity to work with Tyler.
What about his teammates? What did they think about it? What does it say about him to come back?
Well, he's got a lot of friends on the team, and I think that was a big part of him staying. To be here with his friends. I mean, that whole recruiting class, and staying with those guys. I think his roommates, with DJ and Brian Brzee and RJ Mickens, they're a really tight group. So, those guys are excited to have him back. I know Wes and I and Coach Sweeney, we're excited to have him back.
Talking to Coach Paul about Wes, I said, is there, one story that you can tell about his recall? Is there one for you? Like he was saying, hey, he can go back to 2013 and remember certain things. Is it,
Yeah.
you know, one time that you can go.
For me, the most is just he's got a photographic memory, and just what he can see within the play, and be able to write it down. I mean, the guy, he wasn't even in the press box; he was on the field, and writing down what the players on offense and what the players on defense did, and then give it to Coach V and show the defense. I mean, you know, it's like us filming with a camera. I mean, he could vividly see it and just have a photographic memory. And to me, it's probably the most impressive thing I've seen from him.
So when you're in the box, what information are you relaying to him pre-snap?
Well, first off, I'm giving the personnel, so he'll know if it's 11, 10, 12, 21, 22, 23 personnel. Then it's the formation. Here's the formation, and then if I recognize the formation being a pass or a run formation, I'll give him an idea on that. Then watching the play, just watching, did our defense do what they were supposed to do? You know, did the linebackers get their drops right? You know, did we bust a coverage? Hey, Wes, we need to get this guy out. Let's get this other guy in. He ain't getting it, you know, whatever. But those are the things that I'm relaying. Hey, it's 3rd down and 10. Hey, it's 3rd and 5. Hey, remember on 3rd and 1, we like to do this. Hey, it's early down. You hadn't called this in a while. So just giving him the idea, hey, you know, because I'm keeping up with the different calls that we're calling on the field. We hadn't called something in a while. Hey, man, on 1st down, you hadn't called this. This is in our playbook. We need to get this in. Hey, you've called this the last 3 times on 2nd down, you know, in 10. We need to try something different. They're going to be ready for it. You know, just kind of refreshing his memory on what's going on. You know, just keep him clued in on it.
How smooth did that work in the ball game?
I thought it was great. I thought it went really well. You know, I didn't feel like there were really any hiccups. In fact, it felt even better than it did during the season.
Does that help get the plays in faster too? The fact that he can recall, and you're helping him.
Oh, no question. I can get and I'm helping him with that too. Hey, look, it's hurt. You can tell when it's no huddle, hurry up. Hey, they're going fast right here. Get the call. Let's go. Or hey, they're gonna hard count you right here. Just hold the call. You know, those are things that, you know, we're relaying to him. And there's a whole team of us. It's not just me. I mean, there's a whole group of us on defense that are helping him with that.
What are your responsibilities as a defensive coordinator? How exactly will your relationship work with Coach Cook?
Well, you know, our defense, we work really well together anyways, just as a group. I don't think a lot's going to change. You know, we work really well together. You know, we bounce ideas off of each other all the time. Obviously, he's going to be calling. He's got the final play call. But, you know, like I was saying earlier, I'm going to be helping him with personnel groupings, formations, ideas, you know, things that we have on the play sheet we hadn't called. You know, I'm going to remind him of those things that he's called too many times. I'm going to tell him, hey, look, it's too many. And he's humble enough to understand that, grasp it, and listen. And that's what Coach Swinney wanted when he brought us in to tell us how we were going to do it. That's how he wanted it done. And he wants us to do it together, but at the end of the day, you got to have one final voice, and that'll be Wes on the play call.
Can you give me an idea as to the differences between Coach Venables and Coach Goodwin?
Well, night and day, probably. Yeah, I mean, you know, Coach V is you know, full of energy and just very intense, you know, all the time. You know, Wes is a little more cerebral, but not that he's not as intense. Maybe outwardly, inwardly, he still is intense, but he's always, you know, Wes is always thinking of the next move, you know, what we're gonna do. You know, I think he, you know, simplified things a little bit more as far as putting things in categories. You know, when you do things as long as Coach V does, you know, you just kind of stack things on top of things, and in his mind it works. You know, I think in his mind it's a little bit more organized.
What are you looking for from the defense this start fall camp? What's maybe a point of emphasis or two that you're looking for?
From the defense, I don't know, I would love to see the retention from the spring. You know, I'd love to see that we've retained what we worked through all spring, and you know, the guys have worked really hard in the weight room. So I'd love to see how in shape they are when we get started. You know, because the less we got to do as far as conditioning, you know, the better we can work on what we got to do football-wise. So, you know, conditioning and retention are probably the two biggest things.
Mickey, how pleased were you with Sherrod's progress during the spring, and where do you think he's going to be in this once you get a
I was really pleased with Sherrod. I thought he had a great spring. You know, he's got the physical abilities. He needs to the mental part of it. He's still got a lot to learn back there, but he's a great cover guy and he can hit. And I love his physicality, and you know, he's just got to learn. He's just got to learn a few things. So I'm not having to tell him what to do from the sidelines.
Who do you feel the NFL reminds you of?
Say that again.
Who in the NFL is Makuba?
Who would remind me of Makuba? I don't know. That's a great question. Makuba can do a lot of things. You know, but he's a super talent for sure. I don't know who I would compare him to.
Coach Goodwin, he's a younger guy, realistically, from coaching perspectives. Can you give me an idea as to how someone, I mean, that shows that he has a degree of talent, a degree of know-how from just a young age from coach. So can you give me an idea as to how someone, what is so special about Coach Goodwin?
Well, I think he's been around. Number one, he's been around a lot of really good coaching. Been around a lot of good coaches, and I think he's very humble and willing to listen and learn. I think his ability to listen and learn and his humility probably separates him from most coordinators.
Coach Goodwin told us y'all are neighbors. Are you guys? Is he knocking down your door at late hours of the night trying to say, "Have you seen this? Have you seen this?"
No, I mean he'll send me some messages from time to time. But last night he had some leftover chicken wings, and I went over and picked them up. So, but he's got 2 little girls, and they just got 2 new dogs, and you know, we love them to death, and we love having them over, or you know, we like going over to their house. But they're just good family.
At the end of the day, it's a new era of Clemson defensive football. I mean, the expectations going to be the same, but it's a new person that's leading the charge. I guess the thing that it comes back to is the expectations still not changing, right?
Oh yeah, the expectation is to keep the other team from scoring, you know, and that's and have an aggressive approach, and that's not going to change. That's not going to change at all. We've learned a lot from Coach V. He did an unbelievable job here. You know, putting his defense on the map and putting it together, and he's taught all of us, and you know, so we're gonna keep it going. Hopefully, you know, that's the plan. Stay aggressive.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Last year, what did Coach Swinney do to kind of? I mean, there's a lot of talk that for Clemson, 10 wins is somehow a down year. How did he? I know he had that rant, you know, a while ago. To appreciate, did you get a sense that he was?
Well, I think that his leadership was the difference. I mean, you know, he never gave up, and every day was like we were playing for the national championship. It didn't matter, and I think that his attitude, which is the very first thing we talk about in our all-in book, is attitude. I think his attitude shaped the whole team, the staff, the players, and just kept us motivated and kept us going. The fact that he didn't give up, and he wasn't giving up, and he wasn't looking to next year. He was wanting to still accomplish his, you know, whatever, you know, winning the day, you know, was the big thing. And that's what separates him as a head coach from most head coaches is that attitude and that belief in his players and his coaches.
Do you have an example of Wes's crazy memory at work? I've heard that it's really good. He can recall stuff.
Yeah, he can recall a lot. I mean, the guy's drawn up that he draws up plays and been on the computer and doing that for a long time for a lot of coordinators. For me, it's daily. for the game-wise, just the photographic memory, being able to draw up the offense, the defense, seeing it one time and being able to draw up what every position does. I think is the most amazing thing for me watching him.
I think Tyler Grisham said they have a coaching tree growing, and other coaches out there now at other schools, they had to change up a lot of their terminology and signaling and things like that. I'm just curious if you can give me a window into whether on the defensive side y'all had to maybe change some similar stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've changed up a lot of our terminology and packaging signals, all that changes. But I mean, we've been doing that even when Coach V was here. We would do that game to game. I mean, we were changing signals, and that's part of the madness behind the defense too. That keeps the guys alert. I mean, if you keep it the same and it stays dull on them, they get bored with it. You lose a little intensity, you lose some of that emotion. And I think spicing it up, changing signals, making them think, all those things are important to keep the intensity level up in the player. And so for us, we're continuing to do that.
Sorry to ask about this, but Andrew Makuba, how much could he be a corner if he just wanted to play in there?
He could play anywhere in the secondary he wants to play. Corner, safety, nickel. He's physical like a linebacker, and he covers like a corner. And that's what makes him really special.
What advantages does he give you on the back end, though, when you guys do play in the safety?
What does he want?
What advantages does he give you on the back end when you actually do play in the safety?
Safety? Well, he's a great tackler and a great cover guy. So a lot of offenses, they want to isolate their skill slot receivers. They want to isolate them on safeties and linebackers. And you got a safety like Makuba that covers like a corner. That neutralizes that matchup. And really gives us an advantage.
I guess Sherrod Fogle, I've heard a lot about his physicality. I mean, how ultra physical is he?
Yeah, he's really physical. I mean, he comes out of his hips. He loves to hit. But he, the thing that surprised me this spring is his ability to cover. I think he can cover really well too. It's all up to him. I mean, he needs to, he needs to continue to grow mentally in as far as the film work and learning the playbook and those things. He's still got a lot to learn there. So we'll see how much work he put in the offseason, learning those things and how fast that transitions. Because when you get out on the field, things happen really, really fast, and you got to know the defense like the back of your hand.
A special teams guy, so do you think?
Absolutely, he can be a great special teams player.
How close is Landon Sanders to what he was a couple years ago?
Landon will be back full speed. So he's had the surgery, and we did no contact this spring. So just to give him some more time. So I think he's going to be good to go.
Coach, do you have one thing you're most excited about for this season?
Just to get started. I'm just ready to go. I don't know if that answer's the right answer, but I'm just excited to get started and get going and get to working with the guys again, get back with them.
Thanks, sir. Anything else?
Thank y'all.